Hello there, individual that should probably be spending time with their family right now. Well, welcome back to another video. Now on my time on social media, I've spoken about a lot of influencers, I've spoken about a lot of insane people, and a phrase that commonly gets brought up into all of these situations is crashing out. Now, crashing out traditionally in most situations is the act to pretty much go insane in a very stressful situation, when you just do something which, well, you really shouldn't have done that. You get really mad, you get really angry, and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna crash out. Well, today's content creator that we're going to be speaking about, they're very much guilty of crashing out in pretty much, well, every single situation possible. And there's something beautiful about that clip. But yes, if you haven't already, and I am so sorry to introduce you to this universe, this cinematic world of absolute terribleness, meet Elphaba. Now, Great Britain, United Kingdom, whatever you want to call it, it gets a lot of hate on social media, and you know what, I can kind of understand. My beautiful country, well, I say my beautiful country, I am actually 1% North African, as I've discovered recently, and like 4% German, so their country, Great Britain, I can understand why it gets a lot of hate on social media. You know, it's got a bit of a history. There's some things in this country which, you know, you can't really defend. And this individual, well, this is another case of, we kind of need to really wonder what is going on in Great Britain. Because with this TikToker in particular, Elphaba, she's kind of made it so Britain has had to have the great removed from it, because over the last few years, she has built up a rather sinister reputation. But on the broader terms of everything, she is known for things such as faking certain disorders, lying about being autistic, and just multiple other insane things. And I've covered Elphaba multiple times, including a ridiculously long video, which honestly, I need to stop doing this, but it's like an addiction at this point. I just can't stop doing it. But the reason we're here today speaking once again about Elphaba is because, like a lot of influencers do, she has put out an apology video. And you know, when an influencer apologizes, it's just gonna be the worst thing you have ever seen. Because influencers, we are not human beings. We haven't discovered empathy yet. We pretty much are like halfway evolving into a human being. You know, one day we'll actually discover how to form a sentence where you can actually say, I'm sorry, and explain why you're sorry, and actually prove why you're sorry. Because yes, Elphaba has joined the collective of influencers that apologize, and it doesn't go down too well. But what's interesting about this apology is the comment section, it's actually pretty pleasant, despite my grievances with this apology. In fact, when you go through every single comment, it's just nice comment after nice comment after nice comment. And as I said, this is an individual that faked having Tourettes, faked being autistic, and multiple other things out there. So in this video, what I want to do is go into investigation mode to truly work out what is going on in this comment section. And with that, we need to go through the original controversies of Elphaba. And don't worry, we're not going to be here for 5 hours. I don't know why I said that in such a condescending way. Basically, my good buddies, we're not going to be here for 5 hours. Instead, we kind of want to go through all of these controversies in a bit of a lightning round. And there is a reason that we're going to go through them. But yes, we need to take a look at the main two controversies first, because it is very, very important to the context of Elphaba's recent apology. So yes, let's get into the first situation of Elphaba lying about being autistic. Yes, it's a beautiful thing that a lot of TikTokers love to do, where they get onto the application, they gain a lot of followers, and for one day they just randomly decide, I have Tourette's, I am autistic. I have this thing which a lot of people out there also have and deal with every single day, but also I don't have a diagnosis. I haven't actually looked into any of these things, and I'm going to completely just run off stereotypes and only damage the name of people who are actually autistic and do have Tourette's. But yes, let's get to the beginning of this autistic story. That sounds like I'm using it as an insult. No, I mean that. I'm not helping myself. This story about autism. With Elphaba, it all starts at Autism's Got Talent show. A talent show which autistic people can join, show off their talents, and as you can see, Elphaba right here was performing as Elphaba from the show Wicked. Because if you're not really up to date with the Elphaba lore, well, From the name alone, you can discover Elphaba is somebody that absolutely loves Wicked, to a point of where it could be considered quite creepy, but I'm not trying to be mean in this video. Currently, at the time of recording, it is Christmas, and I'm not up for shaming people for liking movies a bit too much. I'm currently surrounded by a bunch of Sonic plushies. I have no ground to stand on. But yes, Elphaba, she featured in Autism's Got Talent, and there was even an article written about this stating there was not a dry eye in London's Mermaid Theatre on Saturday night as trans performers Jack and Elphaba delivered a moving rendition of For Good from the musical Wicked at this year's Autism's Got Talent. And then there's an outright confirmation here of Elphaba's autism diagnosis, stating Jack and Elphaba are both on the autism spectrum. Jack was diagnosed in 2018 and Elphaba diagnosed in 2021. Now, this would be absolutely wonderful and fairly beautiful if Elphaba was not lying about an autism diagnosis, because a lot of leaked things came out, including this leaked message right here, of Elphaba confirming that yes, she does not have an autism diagnosis. I own up, and for that, I am sorry. I've been told to lie by other people and to carry it on, which is true, but I chose to do it. I shouldn't self-diagnose, but I've been referred for this and waiting on an answer. It's been 2 years, so I'm just getting fed up of waiting, as I did the test in 2019. Now yes, obviously at face value, this is absolutely terrible. Lying about an autism diagnosis so you can get into an autism talent show. It's a crazy sentence. It is a mental sentence, and only a TikToker could actually get me to spit that sentence out of my mouth. But I have said in the past, I personally believe if you have the symptoms of something and you truly are trying to get a diagnosis, I think it's okay to deal with those symptoms personally by telling yourself that you probably do have that thing that you are having symptoms with. If the symptoms aren't going away and you need to treat them in a way that a doctor currently isn't treating because they will not see to you due to, I don't know, your financial situation, due to how the healthcare system is in your country, that's your private business. If you need to deal with your own symptoms in a certain way, I think you are perfectly entitled to do that. And honestly, I think if you disagree with that, you need to have a look at the healthcare system throughout the world. There are multiple countries out there, a lot of countries out there, in fact, probably most countries out there that don't have free healthcare. But also in countries where there are healthcare, like good old Great Britain, there are a lot of waiting lists. There is a lot of underfunding, particularly in this country. We had a conservative government that completely underfunded the NHS for over a decade, and that has led to waiting lists getting longer and longer, and people who are searching diagnoses for certain disorders not able to get their diagnosis. In fact, in the UK right now, there are over 190,000 patients and climbing waiting for an autism diagnosis. So, if we're gonna be fair and nuanced here, I would say if Elphaba truly does believe that she is autistic, but she is basically getting screwed over by the system, I think it's perfectly fine for her to deal with those symptoms in whatever way that she personally deems would help her personally. But I don't believe lying about her autism diagnosis to get in Autism's Got Talent with people that do have autism diagnoses is really the best way to go about this. But it doesn't just end there, because Elphaba has become somebody that is also very known for using this supposed autism diagnosis as a way to get away with a lot of things. For example, Elphaba is very much known as a rude person, somebody that is just nasty to a lot of people, and to defend herself in a lot of situations, it seems that she has used autism as a way to get away with this.
So many people who are diagnosed autistic, they understand me, and that's why I get along with them so well, because I know there's a few friends, right? They say blunt things to me, I say blunt things to them back, but we know we're not being rude to each other. Because I'm not being rude.
Now, responding to people calling you rude by saying, oh, I'm autistic, and other people who are autistic understand me, is not really the best route to go down. It just reinforces a lot of negative and false stereotypes about people who are autistic, and this to me is pretty despicable and just shows why Elphaba is facing so much criticism for this, because a lot of people out there saw this as Elphaba just desperately trying to cling to an autism diagnosis as a way to get away with her controversial behavior. And look, being fully serious and not trying to be that one friend who's too woke, but this just makes a lot of people out there who genuinely are autistic, or even people that are looking for autism diagnoses, is that even how you say the word? But the people that are looking for a diagnosis of autism, it isn't helpful to do things like this. And I know it sounds obvious, but sadly, there is a trend on TikTok where people out there fake disorders, they fake things like Tourette's, they fake being autistic, and this does not help, because there are people out there that genuinely do need a diagnosis to cope with this thing that they suspect they are or have. And it sucks when you see people like Elphaba using that real struggle to get away with her own controversial actions, because it's just going to cause people out there to stereotype and say,
oh, you think you're autistic? I'm sure you're just faking it for attention like everybody else on social media.
And the sad part is, for a lot of cases, you really can't argue against that, because things like autism, things like Tourette's, and other things such as ADHD are very much romanticized on social media and used as people to be like, I've got my special interest of a show. I like this television show. I'm autistic. It's like, no, brother, you probably just like that television show. Yes, autistic people out there have special interests and stuff like that, but because you watch 7 seasons of Game of Thrones or 5 seasons of Breaking Bad at once, that doesn't mean you are autistic. It just means you enjoyed the show. So sadly, you now have videos out there like these ones of where people go over influencers or creators or TikTokers faking disorders, faking autism, and it's just really depressing, because all it does is damage people who are autistic or who suspect they may be autistic. It's genuinely a really sad thing, and with the serious nature of all of this, you would suspect that Elphaba will speak about it in her apology, and I'm just gonna leave that for later. But yes, Elphaba on multiple occasions has confirmed that she did indeed lie about being autistic.
And for lying about autism, and I'm known about for singing Defying Gravity. I'm known for having my wig snatched off my head.
I just followed you. Wait, you said you said you've lied about having autism?
Yes, I lied about being diagnosed.
Now, I've always found this clip quite interesting, because it very much seems that she is like bragging about the fact that she's lied about being autistic. But yes, this is something out there a lot of people have spoken about. It's something that Elphaba has addressed, but in my opinion, she hasn't exactly ever addressed it in the correct way, where she ever really feels sorry for what she did in this situation. And given the fact that the main part of this video today is us going to go over her apology, I am very interested to see what she has to say about that. But with that, we then need to move into the next controversy of Elphaba, which of course is her faking having Tourette's. Yes, this is once again another thing that Elphaba is known for, and it is once again something that only a TikToker or Eric Cartman, because this is the insane thing about Elphaba, the more you go down the timeline, the more you realize she is basically Eric Cartman of TikTok. But yes, let's get into the fact that Elphaba lied about Tourette's.
Tourette's. I've actually been referred to Talkworks for something like that. You know, when I had my doctor's appointment for my back, I got referred them because I started ticking in the doctor's office, which was not fun. Accidentally.
Shit.
I'm sorry.
Oh, bless.
I can't. Sorry. I can't. I want to pause it live.
Now, yes, obviously, this was a bit of a weird era for Elphaba, and as you can see in our live chat, people were just kind of confused. What's going on here? And why do TikTokers just feel the need to do things like this? But yes, after this, the drama then exploded. People started speaking more and more about the fact that Elphaba was faking Tourette's on a live stream, and then Elphaba eventually went onto another live stream with an expert about Tourette's awareness. It is truly a display of pure and utter genius.
Why are you doing it?
Oh, no, let me say this. So basically, I went to a GP, right? And
I'm not talking about autism, by the way.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, of course, absolutely understand. So sometimes I have anxiety, right? So I'm diagnosed with anxiety. And basically, I squeak and jitter uncontrollably sometimes. I've done it off live. My mum has seen it herself. And I asked the doctor, is this Tourette's? And they said they're not 100% sure, so they had to put me in, TalkWorks. It's a service. Let me show you.
Before you carry on, can I just say that no GP would have said they weren't sure about Tourette's, because you have to be 12 months having tics to be called Tourette's. So there's no way any GP will have said to you, we're not sure if that's Tourette's. If they thought you had tics, it would be a different story. But there's no way any GP said to you, yeah, we're not sure if that's Tourette's. It's just not, that's bollocks, mate.
So yeah, basically, Elphaba got outright caught out here. It was just an absolutely insane situation, because you just gotta ask yourself, what is the benefit of lying about something like this? What do you truly gain about lying about Tourette's? To me personally, all it could possibly be is just more attention, and that is something that Elphaba does absolutely love. It is her favorite currency, just pure and utter attention. And yeah, just like Elphaba loves to do, after this, she then put out another apology.
It was wrong of me to say I had Tourette's. That was wrong. I'm very sorry for that, because, I tend to say things without thinking, and that is the thing I need to stop. So that's why I've got bullet points in front of me, because this is helping me kind of stay on track. I was never mocking it, though. I would never mock that. I know how hard it is.
What is the one thing that you regret saying the most online?
The one thing I regret the most is, I think I regret about the Tourette's thing, 100%.
Speak about that fully, openly.
Yeah, 100%. So
this is a no judgment.
I fully do suffer with anxiety tics. I generally do, so 1,000,000%, and I'm getting that seen too. And I always will be. I said that off live, on live, like even to any of my friends who have seen me. It's not a view thing. It's just a genuine thing. When I'm actually scared, I do tic.
Okay.
So I said I had Tourette's uneducatedly, so I remember saying I had Tourette's. I shouldn't have said that at all. I really shouldn't have.
So yes, the more you go down this timeline, the more you just kind of start to feel less bad for Elphaba. Not only has she lied about being autistic and having Tourette's, but she's also spread a lot of negative stereotypes which will only harm people that are autistic and do have Tourette's. What Elphaba did in this situation, I still think to this day, she doesn't truly understand why people are so frustrated with her. And these are probably the two biggest things that Elphaba has been accused of doing. It is probably the thing that she is most known for, hence my video title right here. But with that, we need to address some of the other things Elphaba has been involved in terms of controversy. So yes, there is also multiple situations of where Elphaba has been called out for basically being a massive beg on live stream, where she gets extremely upset at her audience for not donating certain amounts of money to her, and she gets mad at other people for allowing her to lose TikTok live stream battles, which if you actually, have a bit of a life, you would know that what a TikTok live battle is. You have another TikToker and you have Elphaba, and pretty much this is such a weird thing, but if you donate more to the other live streamer, they win the TikTok live battle. It's a very confusing thing, and Elphaba loves to do these things because obviously it gets her a lot of money. But I should just say, if you have money and you are engaging in TikTok live battles, please, for the love of God, just donate the money to me. But then we need to move on to more serious controversies, such as where Elphaba basically tried to hijack an LGBTQ. That sounds that sounds a bit more illegal than it actually is. No crimes were committed there, By hijack, I mean there was an event out there for LGBTQ+ people, and pretty much Elphaba tried to get involved. She tried to pretty much make it like she was the one running the whole event, and people got very upset with her, and even the event organizer came out, denounced Elphaba. It turned into yet again another big controversy, and Elphaba just looked worse and worse and worse. But then we need to move on to the next situation involving Elphaba and scabies, because pretty much Elphaba was accused of going out in public when she had scabies, and there are multiple videos to suggest this is true. And then you need to move on to the other controversies, such as where she gave hair lice to other content creators whilst knowing that she had hair lice. Yeah, there's also biological warfare in all of this. And just in general, it seems that Elphaba has been pretty much criticized for every single thing that you could possibly be criticized for. She's been accused of so many different things, and just over the last few years, she's pretty much become UK TikTok's biggest lolcow. And for some reason, if you want more details on these god-awful things, please go and watch my 5-hour video after this. We go through basically every single aspect of the Elphaba lore, and I don't think I've been the same human being as I was before recording that video. It's all a complete mess. But now you're up to date with things, kind of, let's actually get into the Elphaba apology. Because yes, as we said at the beginning of this video, obviously Elphaba put out an apology, and that came on the 4th of December 2024. It was a Christmas miracle, where Elphaba states, "I really hope you can understand how sorry I am to anyone I've caused hurt to on my live streams. I need to grow up and understand the hurt I've caused," and the impact is really felt when she shows a little sad face. But yeah, then we move on to the next bit of, "I don't want any more part in people, the drama. I want to just be me free. And I understand not everyone will forgive this apology, but I meant it with my soul. I want to stop being a complete car crash and focus on me. Hashtag Elphaba or I am Doherty. Hashtag Elphaba." Yes, fellas, don't forget the hashtag Elphaba or Ryan Doherty. Now, the sad part about this description is somebody's probably clicked, some old bear who's just installed TikTok, you know, she's got her first iPhone, she's like, oh, I want to see my favourite musicals, and she searched hashtag Elphaba, her favourite character, and she stumbled on this. Honestly, if there's anyone out there that Elphaba could apologise to, it is anyone that has paid tickets to see Wicked. Because I'm genuinely convinced there are people out there that love the musical, they just want to see some content related to the musical, they get on TikTok and they discover the Elphaba cinematic universe, and their life is completely changed. But yes, actually getting into the apology, as I mentioned earlier, the interesting thing is here, the extremely positive comment section. "You are human, babe. We still love you. First time I've heard you speak sense, to be honest. Nice to see a comment section with all the love. You're young and still learning." Now, I would love to come in here and say this apology. You're not going to believe me saying I'd love to come in here and say that, but I would love to come in here and say this apology was amazing. It was fantastic. It's so good that it's going to get nominated for an Emmy, an Oscar, any other award ceremony award out there. It's getting the nominees for all of it. But no, there's something suspicious going on here. I started to look around, snoop around. Well, I say that. I tried to comment, and the comment didn't go through. I got a little notification though saying that my comment will go through if it's accepted by Elphaba. So what I discovered is that Elphaba was moderating her comment section on an apology video, which is confirmed, as you can see right here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to criticizing apologies on the internet, and I do know one thing, is that if you're apologizing for something, regardless of if you're a big, sick, mentally ill internet star like myself or like any other YouTuber out there, you usually, typically, are trying to take accountability when you apologize. And what taking accountability isn't, is apologizing and then choosing who gets to comment on that apology. To me personally, there are multiple reasons for this, but obviously the glaring reason is that Elphaba doesn't want people to know why she's apologizing. Because pretty much throughout all of this apology, Elphaba keeps on saying sorry, she keeps on apologizing, but she doesn't necessarily ever specify on why she's apologizing. So at face value, if you don't know anything about the Elphaba lore, you would think that this is actually a pretty decent apology. But this is why I went through everything. This is why I explored the lore that we've already explored multiple times, just in case someone watching this video right now does not know about the lore. So with that, let's get into this apology, and let's find out what's truly going on here.
Hi guys, I wanted to do a video because I just thought, you know what, let's just do this as a video, and I think it's best we get into the situation. And I just wanted to start off by saying that I'm just so sorry. I am, like, I really am, and I truly mean that. It's not an act, it's nothing. I am, and I realise my actions have consequences, and I realise that some things I do online isn't good. Like, I can't even begin to even start with. And it's just ruining my own life. And I realise that, and I see everything, and I'm an absolute train wreck. I'm a joke. I'm an absolute joke. I am an absolute car crash TV. And I just want to start off by saying I'm really sorry. I really am. To anyone I've ever hurt, to anyone who I've ever caused any hurt to, I am so sorry about it. I really am. I'm so sorry. And I'm going to do my best in the future, and I will do my best to not cause any more hurt to any more people online and in real life. And I've started to realise that I've become some of the problem.
Now look, as I said earlier, this apology at face value without the context that we've gone through so far in this video, it started pretty well. Honestly, there's not really much you can fault this apology for at face value. She straight out of the gate says that she is sorry and apologizes for her actions. And that might sound very minimal, but trust me, I have seen so many influencers put out an apology. It could be the longest 2-hour-long apology in the world. They could be sat on their toilet when they apologize for some insane reason, but they never ever seem to say sorry in a lot of these apologies. And the question is why? Well, it's usually because they're not actually sorry for what they're apologizing for. But Elphaba, she said sorry, so at face value I would say that's pretty decent. But you and me know, this again is all face value, and from the very moment of the first minute onwards, things start to go bad.
Now, I'm not going to get into explanations because I usually have a habit of doing that, to be honest, when I say buts and howevers and stuff and apologies. And I've made so many apologies on this app, and it's always been filled with buts and howevers and ifs. So this is just a video of me just saying, I am so sorry.
Now, Elphaba is absolutely right. She has made so many apologies on this app, and none of them are ever good. So in this opportunity that she has right here, she could go through every single detail, every single situation, and in particular main situations, like the Tourettes situation, like the autism situation, and she could address it and allow us to understand why she did the things that she did. I think detail in an apology like this is Elphaba's longest apology, so I think detail is very, very important, because Elphaba is apologizing for multiple things. To just broadly come in and say you're sorry usually just necessarily means that you're apologizing for a specific individual thing, but Elphaba, in my opinion, in the opinion of her audience, have a lot of things to apologize for. So saying that you're not going to go into specific details because your apologies have been bad in the past, in my opinion, is not necessarily a valid excuse. All I see it as is you just trying to paper over things by not saying the things that you may or may not have done. To me, it's just you protecting yourself. I know I've sat through this apology multiple times. Yes, I need deep psychiatric help, but I have sat through this apology, and I was just staring at it thinking, why? Why is she making this apology now? Because over the last 6 months, Elphaba necessarily hasn't been in any major drama. The only time I can really think of her being in a dramatic situation in the last few months is when she has called out other YouTubers like myself, like Jake Baz, and other people out there. So why is she now getting on camera and making her longest apology ever in a time where there really isn't much drama going on? You could say it's for attention, you could say she's trying to be relevant again, but no, there's actually a real reason. So once again, Detective Fraser came out and I started snooping around, I started looking, and I stumbled across the truth when I found out that the reason, in my opinion, that Elphaba has made this apology is because she is personally devastated that she did not go to Wicked. And in particular, the Wicked movie premiere. As you can see here, Elphaba says it's her dream to go to the Wicked premiere in London. This is something that Elphaba obviously would love to go to. She's a big fan of Wicked, her name is Elphaba, she loves the character, she dressed up as her for Autism's Got Talent, she wants to go to the premiere. And as I started to scroll further down the account, it became evident to me that the reason she apologized is because she was not invited to the premiere.
Of course I wish I was there. I hope everyone's having an incredible time though, I really do mean that. I really wish everyone so much love and joy and happiness. And I hope everyone's having an incredible time, even people that are there, you know, as fans there. I hope you're having an incredible time. I hope it's the best for everyone. I truly do. You have no idea how much I wanted to be there. I hope everyone's having an incredible time there. But I'll wear my hat and I'll be proud. And I'll be a strong. I don't want to let anyone bring me down. No one can bring me down. I wish I could tell about the clocks and start over on live stream. Build a better image for myself.
Now, firstly, I've just got to say, Elphaba, why did you genuinely believe that you were gonna be invited to the Wicked movie premiere? Did you really think that they were gonna let you stand by these two? They're not. Then they were never going to do that. I mean, you're literally dressed up as Elphaba at Autism's Got Talent. I mean, there was more chance of me getting invited to the movie premiere. And look, you don't see me getting devastated that I didn't get invited to the Sonic 3 premiere. I can completely understand why, you know, Paramount Plus, or whatever they're called, didn't want me to go to the Sonic 3 premiere, despite I've got multiple plushies behind me of Sonic. I mean, that is more of an autism diagnosis than you've got, Alpha. Sorry, I can't say that. If you didn't know, stereotypically, Sonic and autism are apparently linked things. It was a little joke. If I offended anyone, I apologise. Elphaba, she was very disappointed that she was not invited to the Wicked movie premiere, and that's why she made this apology. Because I think Elphaba, in this situation where she was very, very sad, realised to herself that she had, over the years, absolutely destroyed her reputation. She'd in fact become something known as a Lolcow, someone that was only known for being controversial, and she no longer wanted to be that, and that was the reason she came out with this apology.
I wish I could tell about the clocks and start over, build a better image for myself.
She wanted to rebuild her reputation in the hope that she would be invited to the next premiere for the Wicked Part 2 sequel, Spaganza. And it also explains the new level of moderation in her comment section, but it also explains why she was being so broad and vague in her apology. She wanted to rebuild her reputation with this apology, whilst at the same time not having people know what she was apologizing for. So getting out on camera and starting out with, "I am sorry," and apologizing multiple times, that was a good strategy. And that that is why there are, honest to God, a lot of people out there that do believe that this is a good apology. But if you know the law, you would probably go and try and comment criticism. But obviously you can't, and this was all the strategy to get invited to the next Wicked movie premiere. And it's only proven further in TikToks like this, where Elphaba is personally devastated that she was not invited, and that the event even apparently distanced themselves from Elphaba.
I've seen a response from my favourite show. And I get it. And I'm just like, what's the point?
Now, obviously, that clip is a little bit sad to watch if you don't know the context of them faking disorders, and also another thing that I've kind of missed out because I didn't want to say it at the beginning stages of the video for like TOS reasons. Elphaba is also known for getting on camera on a live stream and putting a knife up to the upper body region and threatening to do it. This is something that she's been widely criticized for, but again, it's not mentioned in this apology. But also, we do just need to quickly take a look at this apparent alleged screenshot that was going around that Elphaba in that clip was responding to, of the Wicked team distancing themselves from Elphaba. Pretty much this screenshot went viral of allegedly the Wicked Instagram teens stating, "Our fans and the community they curate and foster are very important to us. Wicked across the globe has no affiliation with this fan, nor do we endorse any of their statements." And I do believe this screenshot is very much a real one, considering Elphaba has responded to it. And yeah, I think from that very moment she realized she needs to start doing things differently if it means she can work with brands potentially in the future. But putting the apology on the side for a second, it's also very confusing that Elphaba saw that message but was also on TikTok stating that she was invited to see Wicked.
The premiere's tomorrow. Yeah, I've decided I'm not going.
I think if anyone's decided that you're not going, it's the entire production team. But yes, of course, all of this then led to the beginning stages of Elphaba's restoration movement. And it is pretty hilarious because it is pretty much the opposite to the plotline of Wicked. At the starting of Wicked, Elphaba is this lovely and good person, and by the end of Wicked, she's this evil individual who wants to just bring misery everywhere. And then we have Elphaba, who started off as that, and then I'd say she became this lovely individual, but she became somebody that was trying and pretending to be a lovely, pleasant individual. Believe me, guys, I'm sorry. But yes, basically, she was trying to rebuild her reputation so she could get invited to the Wicked premiere next year. Let's continue with the apology. Now you know even more context.
I really am on my life. I'm so sorry for any hurt I've caused to anyone. I love you so much, and I'm not going to ask for any of your forgiveness, any of you. If you want to unfollow me, please feel free to. I am not asking anyone to be on my platform. You don't have to be. And to anyone that's still watching and supports me, I just want to say huge, I'm so grateful for that, and I'm really, really, truly appreciative of that. And I just want to say I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to anyone who has been offended by my actions online. And I want to take full accountability for things that have been true.
Again, it's so vague. There's really no specifications to what events could have possibly offended anyone out there. If you saw this, you would think, oh, this is an individual just being up and honest about an individual mistake they may have made. And, you know, I can respect that. But knowing everything, it just, to me, doesn't really feel authentic. As I said, if this was authentic, she would go through everything in a long-form, honest discussion about why she did some of the things that she did, trying to make us understand it, because I actually think that's fine. If she just said, I was in this really bad environment and, you know, I am very sorry, but I'm trying to help you understand my actions, I could get that, you know. Maybe some wouldn't, but I believe that I would be like, fair enough. But this, to me, is just... It's just bad. And the thing is we're around the 2 minutes 44 mark in this apology, and there's still a good 5 minutes to go. And the interesting thing is the next 5 minutes are pretty much just Elphaba actually trying to debunk things said about her by telling her audience that a lot of the things said out there about her are not true. And the thing is, that actually is the case. There are a lot of false accusations out there about Elphaba, and I understand her wanting to disprove those things, but when 75% of your apology is actually you defending yourself, it again makes this whole thing inauthentic, and it also then just plays into the whole Wicked movie premiere thing. I think her logic here is, I can make people feel bad for me by putting out the false allegation aspect, and then I can also just put a broad, oh, I'm sorry out there, and maybe people will forgive me. It's tactful, it really is, and honestly, this is probably one of the smarter things that I've actually seen Elphaba do. Usually in most situations, she's just breaking down and screaming on live stream, but it very much actually seems that she has a plan here, and for the most part, it seemingly is working.
So this is the second section of the video. So basically, I want to say that I'm fully sorry for things that I have done that has been on live stream and has been seen. But there's no but. It's so hard to say but. I just want people to understand that people do lie about me online, and it is really difficult because people tend to believe the lies about me, and there is quite a lot of them out there, and people have truly lied about me to get some sort of, you know, gifts, attention, things like that. So please, I urge everyone to watch, like, just please remember, don't believe everything you truly see online. There's two sides to every story, there's not one side.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of what Elphaba did just say is actually true. There are a lot of lies out there that are spread as actual real information and things that to this day, people still believe about Elphaba. In my 5-hour video, I go over a specific situation covered by multiple content creators of where Elphaba was supposedly exposed for lying about going to hospital, but what I managed to prove in that situation is that Elphaba did actually go to hospital and she was not lying about it, and people were actively spreading misinformation on social media that people were just completely and utterly eating up. And I completely understand being frustrated at that. And Elphaba also deals with a lot of other terrible things. The amount of transphobia that she faces is just completely and utterly disgraceful. And if you go to my comment section and comment some of it, I'm going to delete it if I see it. I do not care. Do not come into my comment section with that stuff. I do not want you here. But also with that, I think Elphaba has a complete right to be frustrated at something like that, and to be frustrated at the misinformation out there. Because on top of all of these things, there are also a lot of false allegations out there about Elphaba that have absolutely no evidence to back any of it. And yet a lot of these things are taken at face value and believed to be fundamental real facts, when that just is not the case. And that is not fair on Elphaba, despite my real valid criticisms of her. Because that's the thing, you can criticize Elphaba for so many things. You don't need to be I mean, again, I say you don't need to be like there's any justification for being transphobic to any. There is no justification for being transphobic in any essence. Leave my subscriber base, his comment section, whatever you want to call it, if you are even thinking about that. But also, there is no justification for lying about her, and no need to lie about her, because there are so many things out there that you can criticize her for. Lying about Tourettes, lying about autism, getting angry at her fans for not donating money. So many things out there. The scabies incident, the hair lice, there's so much. You do not need to lie about her, and I can understand in some cases why she gets frustrated at these things. I'm gonna be nuanced about this, and I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate for it, because people for some reason hate it when a Lolcow gets defended to some extent. But again, you have to realize, why has she become who she is? Obviously, she's done a lot of things that she needs to take responsibility for, but this is kind of like a situation with a lot of lolcows out there, of where they genuinely start off with semi-innocent intentions, they do something bad, and then because of that, they get trolled, they get people being horrible to them, and they get people that almost push them into doing terrible things. Now, I'm not defending every single thing that Elphaba does, but there very much seems to be a case of Elphaba is almost a product of her environment. She has so many terrible people in her personal circle who I think enable her and push her into doing terrible things. If you've seen the people around her, you will know what I'm talking about. So this isn't a defense, but it's more I can understand some of Elphaba's frustrations. Yet at the same time, you have to also then clarify and point out that 75% of this apology should not just be focused on that. If you're going to make an apology video, it should just be an apology. Maybe if she got on a podcast and went through everything, including her apologies, her frustrations, the lies, I would get it in that format, but this is meant to be an apology, and it is not that. If anything, it just comes off more as a defense, despite at the beginning of this apology she says that she's not going to do ifs and buts and maybes.
People make assumptions of me online, and I totally understand that, me explaining assumptions, it's really hard because people see this as like an excuse, and I really don't want you to see it that way. I want you to kind of understand that, okay, she is lied about online, but she's also really sorry, and she's also really not gonna do any of that again, because I'm not.
I mean, you say you're not going to do that stuff again, but this apology isn't an apology. Just saying sorry doesn't mean that you're actually sorry. Being sorry is demonstrated by your own personal actions built up over a long period of time. It just kind of feels that she's almost frustrated that people out there haven't forgiven her for all the things that she's broadly apologizing for. And the thing is Elphaba has said very similar things like this in more shorter format apologies in the past before. There are even videos out there of her listing the bad things that she has done, and it's in every single instance she says that, oh, I'm not going to do these things again, and then she does these things again, and then she ends up apologizing again. Why should I take this apology well, it's not even an apology. Why should I take this statement any more serious? Especially when she goes on to do things such as blaming her ego.
I have a big ego. I do say that fully. And that's a defense I have. And my ego is basically like, yeah, I feel, but deep down I'm really just vulnerable and really fucking insecure in myself.
I mean, yeah, in a lot of situations with a lot of people, their ego can get the better of them. But that doesn't mean you go onto social media and lie about certain disorders. It doesn't mean you go onto social media, get a knife out and threaten to... it doesn't really do that in most situations. Your ego just makes you say stupid things or act in silly, goofy ways. It doesn't lead you to situations like any of the ones you've been involved in, Elphaba. And this, to me, is just another excuse and proof that this really isn't that good of an apology and should not even be considered an apology. Because again, as I said previously, this is all about Wicked, as you're now going to see in the next clip, where Elphaba basically confirms that she's only making this apology so she can get connected with brands.
I'm so sorry for any hurt I've caused to anyone, and in the past, I mean this truly, I really do, I really, really do, seriously. I'm so sorry. And you don't have to forgive me. I'm not here to ask for anyone's forgiveness. I'm just wanting to put it out there that, I want to change. I want to do better. And for myself and my life. And I want to really, really put into account that, the things I've done online, it's really not good. People don't want to be associated with me and stuff like that, and brands don't want to do anything with me and stuff like that.
Brands don't want to associate with me. I mean, I wonder why. And yeah, this pretty much just summarizes everything that I've been speaking about. This apology is extremely performative, and the only reason she's doing it is because she wants to connect with brands, make more money, and hopefully be invited to the Wicked movie premiere next year. There's no coincidence in my mind that this apology only came very shortly after Wicked was released, and she was very, very sad, as we've seen in a lot of clips out there. And honestly, it just makes this apology even more despicable in my opinion. When I first saw the apology, I genuinely thought that it was a decent apology, but I started to dig into it more, speak to some fellow co-creators, and as I said, I kind of started to discover more and more things about this, and to me personally, that just kind of annoys me even more, because I can see a lot of people out there thinking this is amazing, thinking that, wow, she's finally taking responsibility. And if you just look into this apology for longer than a few minutes, you would realize the whole thing is a complete facade, and I genuinely don't believe that she is sorry. I mean, again, this is the same influencer who wholeheartedly admits to making multiple apologies. So why should we take the apology where she admits that she wants to be connected with brands again and that's the only reason why she's making this apology? Why should we trust this? And the main thing that I don't understand is why would you even include the admittance of you're doing this for brands? I mean, Did you not think? Because to me, obviously, that's gonna make people out there like myself see that and think that this whole thing is just a complete load of bollocks. But yeah, moving on to the final part of this apology, it's just her pretty much saying sorry 1,000 times again.
I don't know if there's a way out of this. I don't know if there's a way to gain trust and respect back from everyone. But if there is, and I truly hope there is, and I hope that I can try and just become a better person and smile and make everyone feel safe, and most importantly, equality as well. Like, I want everyone to feel beautiful and valid in themselves and their own bodies and who they are. So with that ending off, I just want to say I am so sorry for any hurt I've caused towards people. I love you so much, and I am so sorry.
I love you too, Elphaba. I love the fact that you have somehow lowered the bar of influencer apologies just further and further. Oh, it's going down. It's not the rock bottom. It's into hell. I love the fact that you are that bad at apologizing. To summarize this apology, yeah, it's obviously not great. I think Elphaba, as I've said, should have definitely went into specific details. All of this, to me, is just extremely manipulative, and the further you look down her TikTok page, the further you realize this is strangely just all about the Wicked movie premiere. Do I truly believe that Elphaba is going to rectify her reputation over the next 6 months and actually rebuild her career as this wonderful, lovely, inclusive content creator that is only known for magical things and fairies? No, I don't think that. Because Elphaba's made 1 billion apologies in the past, and yes, this was probably the longest and most, I don't know, detailed I don't even know. It just sucks. I don't think that this apology, really, despite its length, is any different to any of the other apologies. If anything, it's the worst one, because she just admits this is all to do with brands. If you want people to associate with you, if you want to be invited to movie premieres, maybe stop interacting with social media in the way that you do. Elphaba, every single time I see you, it's because of something controversial. You didn't actually need to get on social media and make this apology, because we've seen your apologies in the past. They all suck. We know that your apologies suck, so at least you could just, I don't know, show to us that you've changed, show some actions, demonstrate that, because after everything, I really don't think anyone trusts your apologies, especially after this one. The only way you can display change is in your actions. And I truly believe in 6 months' time I will be sat here once again speaking about Elphaba because she's once again been involved in some insane drama. Do I believe that she's going to be invited to the Wicked movie premiere next year? I mean, Trisha Paytas was invited to SNL, so stranger things have happened. But honestly, I would be very, 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 very very, 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 very shocked if that happens. In conclusion, I don't think this Elphaba saga is going to end anytime soon. You'll see with most Lolcows, when they apologize, there will be peace and quiet for a few months, and then chaos will eventually descend once again. And as I said, I would not be shocked if in 6 months' time I was sat here once again speaking about whatever Elphaba got involved with that week. None of this is shocking to me whatsoever, and I'm gonna give this apology a 3 out of 10. Probably could have been a little bit spicier. But let me know your apology ratings down below on a rating of 1 to 10, and if you really thought it was terrible, be sure to get a big old stinking beans in the comment section, because you know, I need interaction. But yes, you wonderful individuals, that is the ending of the video. Oh, that was actually me being nice to you for once. You're wonderful, I guess. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for coming along. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to hear me speak about this more, as I said, I've got a big old 5-hour video to speak about all the Elphaba lore that you could possibly want. And also, I have a podcast with my good buddy Obese the Beast called Over the Pond. If you want to go subscribe to it, it is in the comment section. My Instagram is also inabber, and with that, I am going to go to bed. Thank you very much, everybody. Peace out, and have a lovely week.